Hopefully you're not wobbling too much. You're on a wobbly thing. Less wobbly than the other day when I sat in front of my laptop and tried to make a vlog, which you've not seen yet, which you'll see before this one. Somebody reminded me about perhaps a large part of the reason for the need to hurry Brexit along. It seemed really hurried to me at the end. As much as we all wanted it to end, it seemed very hurried. And once Boris Johnson got hold of it, he was just speeding down the pitch with his ball. The thing that got me was that they talk about that one of there were slogans, weren't there? Let's get Brexit done. But the other thing was oven ready deal. And that was so fucking misleading. Oven ready deal. It wasn't even out of the fucking freezer. I just can't believe that he got away with that, but he did. And this is why you have the Brexit that you have. But I was reminded, it'd been trickling around in my head, but I was reminded by, now I got to try and pronounce this, and I'm sorry if I wobble you, because I'm about to read from my laptop. Reminded by Taliaferro Nokobolokov of moral turpitude. Made me laugh. About Jacob Rees-Mogg. But Jacob Rees-Mogg knows the benefits of Brexit, he just won't tell. And it reminded me of the whole need to remove themselves from the European Union to protect their offshore interests. So I've got an article here on my iMac. Which was written in The Guardian in November 2017. So I know it's old, but it's really important. And I'm going to be reading a bit from it. For those I know people can read, but I don't think people bother to read. I probably didn't bother to read it. What I tend to do is I'll skim headlines. And quite often I'm skimming headlines and Mark's got the telly on and there's stuff going on. So I don't actually sit and read, and I wouldn't take it in anyway properly. And it was 2017, it's now 2022, which is, if you can add up correctly, 5 years ago. You know, so much has happened in that time, I would have forgotten it. So I've resurrected it, and it talks about the Brexiters who put their money offshore, some of the loudest voices in the debate, many of whom wanted the UK to be a tax haven, have their own offshore interests. And then it actually lists them, and I will briefly read who is on the list and the first paragraph of, unless it has a bit more information, the second paragraph of what it says. So you've got Aaron Banks. I can remember him now looking at him, but who was he? He donated money to Nigel Farage. He donated 805 million to Nigel Farage and his campaign to leave Europe. And this is in 2017. He continues to argue for a hard Brexit. He owns the Isle of Man-based Conister Bank with his friend and fellow Brexiter, the Isle of Man resident Jim Mellon, whoever he is. Last month, which would have been October 2017, the bank is part of the Manx Financial Group, which is also controlled by the two men. Last month, the MFG reported a 30% rise in profits with total assets of 174 million. God knows what that is now. Next up, George Magan. Again, these are names that I don't recognise, but they're Tory donors, I think. Lord Magan is a former Conservative Party chairman and has donated around 1.5 million to the Tories. He helped Ian Duncan Smith on the campaign trail with a loan of a chauffeured car. He was awarded a life peerage in 2011, and he appears in the Paradise Papers for several reasons. He is the settler of two Jersey-based trusts that hold properties and fine art. Doesn't say anything about what his worth is. The Barclay brothers, owners of the Torygraph. Who live on Brecon in the Channel Islands and Monaco. The Paradise Papers include minutes of a meeting in Hamilton, Bermuda, that show the 82-year-old billionaire twins seeking to keep their financial dealings out of sight. Okay, that's them. Someone else I don't recognise, but he's got one of those ermine collars on. Robert Edmiston, one of the biggest funders of the Leave campaign. He appears in the Paradise Papers in connection with 2 Malta-based aviation companies. The founder of the car importer IM Group, who is estimated to have a fortune of about 440 million, gave hundreds of thousands of pounds to 2 Brexit groups, Vote Leave and Grassroots Out. I'm going to put a link to this so you can read all of it, but I just wanted to remind us what the Oven Ready deal was for. Get Brexit done was about this, nothing else. Jacob Rees-Mogg and his old Etonian friend. Jacob Rees-Mogg and a former school friend who has managed the MP's multi-million-pound investments are mentioned fleetingly in the Paradise Papers. Rees-Mogg is referred to because of $680,000 payment he received when the BVI-based investment firm he worked for was bought by a Canadian bank. Mogg held 50,000 shares. Mogg's finances are complex and a matter of public record. He owns a company called Saliston. I've pronounced that very Saliston. Established in 1995 to hold property that originally belonged to his father. So yeah, he's in it, and we knew that. Andrea Ledsam's husband, she's as bad as fucking Truss, isn't she? She was just as smarmy and smug and whatever. Andrea Ledsam's husband and brother-in-law. Some of Andrea Ledsam's family income has been derived from offshore interests. Her husband, Benjamin Ledsam, has worked as a director for many years for Peter de Poutron, who is married to her sister Hayley. A donor to the Tory party, de Poutron runs a multi-million-dollar hedge fund from Guernsey. He was also the joint owner with his wife of a company in Malta. James Mellon and his London bar, the arch Brexiter and Isle of Man Tactile, is a proprietor of a cocktail bar in one of London's hippiest neighbourhoods, the Hoxton Pony in Shoreditch. And in 2007 he teamed up with his long-standing business partner, the Canadian billionaire Stephen Dattles, to become a co-partner in the venture. Why am I reading that? Not really knowing. So yeah, thank you. I've got to repeat that bloody name now, haven't I? Hold on, where is it? Thank you to Taliaferro Nokobolikov of Moral Turpitude for reminding me about Jacob Rees-Mogg and the other cronies, and part of the reason why Brexit was such a crap deal. I'm going to pause this because I've got to look for the original meeting with the, what are they called? The committee, in front of the committee in the House of Commons of David Davis. I've got to have a look at that and remind myself what he said. So it was the House of Commons Select Committee, which I remembered as they started to search for it. And I can't find there's a few where they spoke to him. I can't find the particular one, but I think it was very early on when they asked him about the feasibility studies that had been done about the, all the things that needed looking at for Brexit. And he sat there and he hadn't even got a dossier. He'd not got a folder on his part of the table, and he just sat there and said, well, we haven't done any. But laughed. He just laughed. And it was like, what the fuck? You're in charge of this. You're the person everybody's relying on to get this right, and you haven't done a fucking feasibility study. I mean, I don't claim to be an intelligent woman. I don't claim to have all of the answers. But I'm just a normal person who can read and understand and see when somebody is not doing their fucking job. That's all it is, really. I can see bullshit when I see it, and when people aren't doing their job, it's not hard to see that, and that's what I see. So it's not to do with me having a higher level of knowledge. It's to do with me seeing through people, seeing through the bullshit. I've worked with enough people, had enough bosses to see through bullshit, and that's what I do. So when I sit watching bits of politics on TV or bits of news or whatever, sort of looking underneath, looking at, we called it something the other month. I can't remember what it was now, but looking beneath the superficial, the smoke and mirrors, looking for the ulterior transactions. I mean, that's what I trained to do anyway. So, I was trained to do that to help people. I was trained to look at the ulterior transactions to be able to offer people some help in looking at certain communications and things like that, or look at what their introject was telling them. So looking at ulterior transactions is a bit like, it's a bit of a piece of cake for me, and it's just automatic. I don't sit there thinking, that's it's just automatic, and it's what I do. So yeah, oven ready deal my arse. That's it really. Not going to say any more because I'll just ramble and ramble. I'm not going to do that. So that's it for today. That's it for tomorrow, because I'm recording this on, just so you know, people don't look at the description. It's the 4th of August. It's Thursday the 4th of August. People don't look at the description, and I've shared a couple of rain and thunder videos, because I recorded them at the time it was happening, but I recorded them 2 weeks ago. We've not had anything since, and I do write in the description, this is when I recorded it. So I'm just telling you, I'm recording this on the 4th. You'll get it probably tomorrow on the 5th. And I'm coming up for the anniversary, the year anniversary of when I first started flogging, as we call it. I misunderstood why it was called flog. And when I come, I will do an anniversary vlog and talk about the reasons I call it flog and what I thought and how I understood that. In the video I make about flogging. Okay, have a bonne journée.